Welcome to the Big Sunday Show in the North Bank, and what a beautiful weekend to be an Arsenal fan. I think this one's going to be absolutely lit. I've got amazing guests with me tonight, so let me introduce my guest before we go into anything else. And I'm not sure who the person to the right of me is, because he's not got a name up. Never trust a yank to do anything. Brian, how are you, my brother?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. Like, I think your cat walked across your keyboard for showing your name right there because I don't know what the hell that says. But no, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.
We appreciate you making his debut on the channel. Ed, my brother, how are you?
Hello there. Yeah, no, I'm equally enjoyed my weekend. I really enjoyed yesterday. It was an incredibly easy game to watch. And then, yeah, Spurs losing, Liverpool losing. Could not have written it better.
Yeah, fantastic. We'll get a bit of your background as the show goes on. And for a long while, my Australian brother, Max, how are you, bro?
I am good, Mark. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
It's good
Right,
to be back,
this
and what a show to come back to.
100%, bro. Right, guys, we're going to. I have tried to structure this, but I do want to give this out. Like in the North Bank's changing massively over the course of the next couple of weeks. We're revamping everything we do, and the idiots have actually gave me and Brian our own time slot on it to keep our own shit, which is
They're gonna regret
like
that one.
bro, bro, don't don't tell them, don't warn them. But so yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out. Hopefully next week, this show will still be the Big Sunday show, but it'll be the Big Sunday quiz show, and it's where we get to be interactive, etc. There's going to be a quiz getting put out. Just we could join on our phones and give answers fastest finger first, etc. So it's getting revamped up massively. So this could be the last ever show of that show, this format of the show. So guys, let's have a good one. So
Good.
I want to jump straight into yesterday, right? And what I want from you guys, and I'll ask you one at a time, is at 12 o'clock yesterday afternoon before the Fulham game, what your feelings were. That's it. Don't go into lineups, don't go into anything else. Just what your feelings were at 12 o'clock yesterday. Ed, since you're the first time on the show, I'll let you go first, bro.
I mean, it's always really nerve-wracking, I think, going for titles. I'm so not used to having to win every single game. So I'm basically always nervous at this point, even though we are so kind of good at controlling games and so good at winning games. And like obviously Fulham's been a really difficult place to go. So I'd say I expected to win, but like the idea of maybe dropping points again at Craven Cottage was slightly haunting me.
No, that's a good answer. Max?
Yeah, if honestly, it was one of those games. I was dreading coming back from the international break. It's one of those games where games gone by where we could have and would have, and most likely in some cases should have dropped points. But I'm glad we got the win.
Yeah. Brian?
You know what? I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried. We look absolutely great. I do think I mean, knock on wood, I do think we're on track for a really, really good finish this year. Hopefully, number one. And Fulham hadn't been that difficult for us to get to. When you look back at the stats with Arteta going there, I think we picked up 7 out of 12 points since we've been there, and that doesn't sound great, but it's not nearly as bad as it could be. And so I wasn't concerned. I was just hoping for a good game yesterday, and the result was great. That's all I cared about.
Right, superb. Right, guys, I'm going to go into the lineup. Okay, going to share this with you. What was your take on the Arsenal lineup yesterday, Brian? Do you want to fall through, bro?
Yeah, so I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, why is Trossard starting?" Blah blah blah. Trossard is great for us. Like, I don't remember how many goal involvements he has, but it is way more than people think it is. I was glad to see Rice playing in the left eight. I thought that Eze was really, really good in the right eight. I mean, Zubamendi is lockdown in the middle. For me, I'm not sold on Calafiori, but that's because of my undying love for Kieran Tierney. And that goalkeeper in the back, like, I don't like that dude. I would much rather play goalkeeper for Arsenal, and I'm over here in DC. But yeah, I mean, the lineup was as strong as we could put out. We went out there to win. We went out there to win.
Yeah. Ed, did you think we went too strong yesterday, or?
No, not really. I think with the injuries to Odegaard and Madueke, I think we don't have. I think there have been points this season where we've had loads of options. And you think, oh, will he start this person? Will he start this person? To be honest, apart from who does he start? Trossard or Martinelli? And that one, to be honest, it's a bit of a toss-up anyway. They're both. I love them both, but they're both imperfect left wingers. And I think we knew Fulham were going to sit deep. Martinelli's so much better when the game is stretched. It made much more sense to start Trossard. I think you're right. He can unlock games. He often has, even when he's not been in the best form, found ways to get goals, found ways to create goals. I'm always really happy when Arteta trusts his squad and says, okay, I'm gonna rest Declan Rice. But I think away at Fulham, after the international break, we're playing before Liverpool. City have won. You really, really have to make sure you win that game comfortably. And I was really happy to see what I thought was pretty much our strongest squad. Similarly, I thought when you said you loved Tierney, I mean, I'm a massive Miles Lewis-Skelly fan. I think, Calafiori can do stuff that I've never seen a fullback do, and I don't think a fullback would ever try and do. But I think the extra control Lewis-Skelly brings us, the way he's able to sort of invert into that midfield, I slightly prefer him, but it's a real toss-up. As for David Raya, I mean, he's brilliant. I've never seen you playing goal, but the guy is an absolutely elite level goalkeeper. So I mean, I was very happy. I mean, maybe you'd go Kepa, but yeah, I was very happy with the lineup. I thought it looked strong, and I thought we were going to control the game, and we did.
Yeah, I did. I go for that. Max, what was your take on it? Do you think we went too strong, or were you happy with it?
No, I again, it's not many times I disagree with Brian, but no, it was exactly the lineup I wanted to see. I understand. I obviously wanted Martinelli to start because I think Trossard's a better impact sub. I think we all know that. But at the same time, I could understand why he went with Trossard because Fulham was going to sit in the mid block, and we saw that throughout the game. The mid block was difficult to break down, and eventually resorted to obviously a set piece. Ole. But obviously, I think considering the injuries we had, I think this is probably the best lineup we could have put out, and I have no problems whatsoever with the lineup whatsoever.
No, superb, bro. Max, you want to give a breakdown of your take on the first half?
Yeah, look, I think for the first, I'd say probably 30 minutes, it was a tough watch from especially watching from where I am. It's obviously it was a tough watch for the first 30 minutes. I think you could see a lot of the players were leggy after the international break. I think a lot of the players didn't know where they were supposed to be. And I think after the first, I'd say 30 minutes, I think we grew into the game. Was more so the second half. The second half was obviously, we'll touch upon that, but and I think the first half, I think it was just really unfortunate that obviously Calafiori's wonderful goal got ruled out, unfortunately. But I think it was very reminiscent of the Man City goal. If you guys remember that one, it was very reminiscent of the Man City goal. But
Yeah. Brian, what was your take on the first half, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do want to give Calafiore his flowers on that finish. I mean, that was just chef's kiss, just beautiful. I think once we kind of shook the tiredness out of our legs, we did pin Fulham back a little bit more. But again, like I said, I wasn't concerned. I knew that we were going to get where we needed to get, and it could have been a hell of a lot worse. It really could have been.
Yeah. Ed?
Yeah, I don't know. I try and be so sort of sensible, sort of before and after games, and try and really see things in perspective. But
How
I'm
do you
so
do that?
scarred.
How do you do that? Could
No,
you?
I don't. I fail. Of course,
Have you got the medicine for that? We all
reactive
want some. We all want some.
I'm so scarred by those sort of going up against City and them sort of getting 90 plus points and having to just win every single game to win a title, that when we're not creating chances, I still do get antsy, even though, look, a draw at Craven Cottage wouldn't have been a bad result. I thought the first half, I think probably Ezra's worst game in an Arsenal shirt. Not to say it was awful, but we really lacked his creativity. Obviously, if we don't have him, we've got no Odegaard on the pitch. It really was just Bukayo Saka that we were looking to create in that first half. And as always, they double up on him. They really shut him down. He did create chances, but there were games last season when we just looked like we weren't going to score more than a goal. And that first half, I was slightly thinking, God, if they nick one, because Harry Wilson had a few chances and half chances. Again, like the bar I hold Arsenal at now is so high, but I thought that first half we looked really lacking in sort of creative fluidity, and also potentially quite vulnerable to a sort of, I don't know, a half chance taken well. That I was a little bit antsy when it finished up.
Wait, Ed, just what I will say on that first half is, for me, it was very, very clear that we missed Odegaard immensely in that first half. Because if you look at what Odegaard actually physically does for this team, it knits everything together. He sets the tempo of the team, especially when you have like Zubimendi and Declan Rice next to him. Like, he sets the tempo of the team, and it was very clear to me that Eze, obviously said Eze didn't have a great game, and I agree with that. But with Odegaard being out, you could see what he brings to the team now he's not here, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, you can see what he's actually trying to do, and what he sets the tempo, he sets the press, he sets pretty much the entire organization of the team. So for me, again, it was clear, but I think it was, again, I'm not going to put Slate Eze. I'm going to give him time, obviously, but I think you can see what the difference between Eze and Odegaard is, and why I think Arteta rates him, and why I think he's so important to this team.
Sorry, Ed, how you go?
I think on that point, like, I'm a huge Martin Odegaard fan. I'm constantly defending him against certain parts of the fan base, but I do think also when we only have that, a number of our players can create chances and do, but when we only have sort of one kind of fundamental creator, be that Eze or Odegaard, and that player has an off game, it can really limit us. We saw it often last season when Odegaard, when he was coming back from fitness, or he just wasn't quite at the races, when we didn't have him playing at his best, it just, whether he was there or not, it looked like we couldn't score. I think that was, again, like last season we were good, but often we fell short because we just couldn't create chances, we just couldn't break down teams. And I do think in that second half, in there we didn't need to. We got a goal pretty early in the second half, but I think I would have liked to maybe see if that had gone on a bit longer, bring on Ethan Ranieri with Eza and having those two creative players. So that
or even Max Dowman, Ed.
Yeah, for sure.
But then who do you take off? If you bring on Ranieri, then
I think it's
who do
really
you take
hard.
off?
I think we've all been so sort of Mikel Arteta for the best that like we so want defensive strength, but I think you can take off one of Zubimendi or Rice. I think that's fine. Like, and have two more sort of out and out creative players. Like Zubimendi's really brilliant, but I do think if we really are pushing for a goal, we can rely on Rice to go back into that 6 and then play with two more advanced
But
players.
So just to bring this back on your guys' points, were we pushing for a goal in the first half? Did we need to push for a goal in the first half? So why do I agree with the creativity of Martin Odegaard, and Arsenal fans don't actually realise that he's not there until he's not there. But like we're talking about the first half at this moment in time. So at what point do we need to change it up?
That's a really good question, and I think as Arsenal fans, we go really early. Like, I noticed at the Emirates, we kind of 25 minutes in, and you're sitting there thinking, "Oh God, 25 turns to 30, 30 goes to half time, and suddenly it's 75 minutes in, it's still 0-0." But I do think at times last season Arteta was slow in making those changes, slow in reacting, and the difference between 1 point and 3 is so massive when you're up against like a Liverpool or a City who are flying, that actually, even in the first half, I do think maybe not personnel changes necessarily, but actually positional changes and thinking, okay, we're not really creating enough chances here. Can we? I don't know. Can we send Calafiori flying forward into a run to join the attack? And that obviously that is what happened.
I want to come to him, but guys, before we go any further, I want to go into just drop in the chat. Say hello to the guys. Emerson, big up, bro. Really appreciate
Emerson, what's
you.
up, dude?
Yeah, really appreciate you. Then we've got Des, Gunnar Ritchie, Richard's from the channel as well. He's top guy. Des is saying that he was glad that we went strong. Then we've got this one. Good thing Odegaard wasn't playing. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, bro. But if you want to come back and speak, then I'm happy to do that, and I will show your messages. Arteta's like that's
Yeah.
We've
got a Spurs fan in the chat. It must be.
Yeah, it's got to be. But anyway, yeah.
Do you know the thing? I think the thing with Odegaard is like, just real quick. Yeah, I think the Odegaard. I think he's a very Marmite type player. I think a lot of Arsenal fans rate him, and a lot of fans don't like him, and just for whatever reason. And he's a very sort of maverick sort of player, and if he's not getting goals or assists, there's a lot of Arsenal fans that will jump down his throat real quickly. But people who've played the game and seen the game and watched the game, a lot of the things he does, he's just remarkable, especially during that Newcastle game at times. And just from the Newcastle game onwards, I think the Newcastle game up until we obviously got injured against the West Ham, you could see what the levels of like creativity they can bring. You only need to cast your mind back to that through pass that he does to Miles Lewis-Skelly. One through pass basically bypasses two defenders, and essentially, if Miles then like obviously crossed the first time, then Martinez has an open goal to basically shoot at. So
100%, Max, we're going for his chat, bro. Let's do
cool.
that. But you're right, bro. You're absolutely right. So we're going to the next one. Completely agree. Ken Patton will share their opinions on Jokeris' shortcomings thus far. We will touch on him, I more than promise you. Gunnar Ritchie, how much was the tempo on us not being 100% in the first game back from internationals as part with an eye on playing within ourselves as we are Athletic Bilbao Tuesday? No, we've got Athletic Madrid Tuesday. That's how we're Richard. Brian, do you want to say anything to Richard? We've got Atletico Madrid on Tuesday, not Atletico Bilbao.
Yeah, it's just Atletico Madrid.
So could you just tell me that it's a hour, Brian?
Wait, what?
It's a hour.
Him putting Bilbao? Yes. It's a
Yeah,
howler.
that's a
It's
howler.
a
That's an
howler.
absolute howler. Can someone clip this up, by the way? We'll put this in the group chat later. What creativity.
So hard.
Smith Rowe. Cyprus has come back with Smith Rowe Odegaard.
Fulham fan, then. Fulham fan.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe a London team. I think you're right,
Like,
Ed, on that.
it sounds like Cyrus plays FIFA on beginner mode.
Yeah, I mean,
right. Max, if you start turning right so you get on the show face, red, droppy eyes face, orange raised eyebrows. I think
What
this
is that
emoji.
word salad? What is that word salad right there?
And then Richie's come back. Gunnar Richie's came back. Laughed my arse off, didn't even notice. Get it up, you Richard. Of course, I was called that one out. Right, guys, we're going to go to the next topics. We will touch on Jokeris and stuff during the show 100%. But I really want to try and get through this. Half time, just half time alone, guys. And Brian, I'm going to come to you. Were you happy at 0-0 against Fulham at Craven Cottage?
I mean, yes. Ed, you were saying earlier that yes, it has been, a tough place to play. It hasn't been as tough as we think it has, but any game like any London derby like this, there's going to be something to it, because we started off leggy in the first half. Could they have nicked one? Yeah, they could have, but they didn't, and so again, we have way more quality than Fulham has, and so yeah, I was happy. I wasn't stressed about it.
That's Ed. What about you? How were you at halftime? Were you pretty calm? Were you relaxed, thinking, "Do you know what, the guys have pulled this through," or were you still apprehensive at all?
Yeah, I'm never relaxed. I'm now very rarely am I relaxed about Arsenal. But yeah, I mean, similar. Like always, kind of brace myself for the worst. But I mean, we're a much better team than Fulham. As I said, like we weren't creating enough. We had the players on the bench to change that. Like I know we have a sort of scrappy goal or two in us. We had that goal disallowed, and I was more thinking, okay, how does he change this in the second half? Does he bring someone on? Does he slightly change the formation? But no, I think I had a cup of tea and a chat at halftime. I wasn't sort of sitting there fidgeting away. It was okay.
So you were actually relaxed. Max, what about you, bro?
Yeah, for me, I was calm. I was comfortable. Because if there's one thing in this team that I trust and rate highly, and Mark, we've had conversations about this immensely, right? Is our defense, right? And the one thing that I know about this team is that when we go 1-0 up, or during a hard period where they have to, when they press us, right, is that our defense can sustain pressure. Obviously, we can't say that about a few other teams, but that's what I'm just saying. Like, is what that one team and the squad depth of our defense is just second to none. And I think it's squad, and I don't think I can even go even higher and say I think our squad depth is the best in Europe right now, along with our centre backs right now. So, I think for me that's kind of where I'm at with. So for me, to answer your question, yes, I was calm. To be fair,
right, superb. Then I'm going to touch on the next point. I'm going to touch on is away, Trossard again. Set piece again. And it happened in the 58th minute, I believe. What's your guys thinking on that? And let's see when you're evaluating it. Can we talk about Jokeris as well? When you talk about the Trossard goal, touch on Jokeris and where he's going. We've got plenty of time, guys. We're not running out of time. So, Brian, do you want to go first this time?
Sure. So I was watching the post game on NBC over here, and Robbie Earl, I think it was. They were going back and forth about, oh, Arsenal can only score off set pieces or whatever like that. And he said something, really interesting that I guess it's not really interesting, but like it's interesting that, somebody in the media finally said it. And they're like, set piece goals count the same as goals from open play. So what does it matter? How Arsenal are scoring. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. The table doesn't ask how you got the points. The table asks how many points you got, and we walked out of there with 3 points. As far as Gyökeres, yeah, I think he's having a little bit of trouble getting settled, but I think it's going to be one of those Kai Havertz things where once he gets a couple more goals, he's going to be more comfortable. And I think we're still in a little bit of a learning process with how to play with an out and out striker because we haven't had one for years at this point. You know, I think Cyrus was like, oh, or somebody down there said, something about, whether it's a mistake or whatever the hell it was said. And it's like, no, getting Gyökeres wasn't a mistake at all. I know back at the beginning of the season, I wanted Sesko over Gyökeres. I wanted Sesko. And you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong. Like I'm really happy with seeing Gyökeres' movement. I'm really happy seeing, how the defenders, all flock to him in the box, and it does open up stuff on the outside. So as far as Gyökeres, I'm not concerned with him at all.
Superb. Max, I really need to get your take on this as well, bro. My camera's going to be off, guys. I'm still here, but Max, just really elaborate on this. I want to hear what you thought about the Trossard goal, set piece again, and then also the Gyökeres. Let's touch on the comments in the chat, bro.
Sure. So obviously, for me, in regards to the set piece goal, obviously, honestly, I'm at the stage now where I'm just like, score by any means necessary. Set piece goal, arm goal, chest goal. I don't care if it goes off your ass. If it goes in the net, I honestly couldn't give a rat's ass. I'm
Hey,
being
Saliba did that.
100%.
So
I'm
Saliba
being
scored a goal off his ass last year,
Saliba did
or
it.
year before last.
Saliba
Whatever.
did it. Saliba did, and honestly, I'm at that stage now where I'm just like, whatever, right? And the fact that rival fans speak about set piece goals makes it even better when we score set piece goals. So they can cry all they want. These set piece goals is a part of football, and as far as I'm aware, is as long as you still score set piece goals, it still adds up and it still makes it still counts as a goal. So for me, set piece goals it's been part of football for a long time, and it's still going to be a part of football long after we're gone. So and quickly on to touch upon Gabriel, for me, honestly, he is one of this. I don't understand how he scores as many set piece goals and assists as many set piece goals as he does. He's just an absolute sort of phenomenal when it comes to set piece. Sleeve is certainly up there as well. Timber been recently, obviously, we can touch upon Timber's recent set piece goals as well. Honestly, obviously we know about the Newcastle, obviously Gabriel late winner as well. So Gabriel's been doing this for ages, and I think he's on 18 goals now. 18 goals. He's and Koscielny's on 22, which just goes to show you just how effective Gabriel is on set piece goals. So yeah, like I think he's just an absolute destroy on set piece goals, and this is why when Declan Rice and Saka cross balls into the box, they always go for Gabriel one way or another. And as for Gyökeres, I think Gyökeres will become good. I think he's as Brian was saying, I think he's just struggling at a moment and low on confidence, and obviously transitioning from obviously the Portuguese league into the Premier League. And obviously he's played in the Premier League before, but he's getting used to it again. And I think for a long time we've played with the likes of Havertz and the likes of without a striker, official number 9. And I think the team is slowly learning how to position themselves and when to pass and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's going to take obviously take time to go into sort of work and suss that out. And the thing is with Gyökeres, and on another given day, he'd be on about 6 goals, 7 goals by now. Because if you look at if you look at the Newcastle penalty, he could have scored that. We can touch upon obviously the three at the Fulham game, potentially, where Gyökeres gets brought down in the box by like someone pulling his shirt. Obviously the Saka one, obviously we can mention that. Obviously we can talk about obviously the second shout where basically, I can't remember the second one quite clearly, but there was a second opportunity in the Fulham game as well. So yeah, on another given day, he's with a little bit better finishing, he'd be up there with Haaland right now. So I think he's just going to take a little bit of time at the moment, and I think he's again, as I said, going back to Brian's point, and I'm sure Ed will agree with me. It's gonna take one of those times, and it's gonna take time to adjust to the team and take time to adjust back to the Premier League to get it all working well together.
No, 100%, bro. Ed, your feelings on that, bro?
Yeah, touching first on the set pieces, it is fun that rival fans really hate it. And I think also for the era of Arsenal that I grew up in, and it's an era I'm incredibly nostalgic for, but it was sort of us playing beautiful football with all these kind of skinny little players dancing around and then being absolutely battered and conceding goals just like we're scoring. And it's nice to sort of be the ones handing out those kind of goals. And it's nice to sort of wind up fans. And it's nice that it's not pretty. And it's nice that I don't want rival fans to enjoy watching Arsenal. I don't want that at all. I enjoy watching Spurs when they lose, not when they play well. But I do think it's really good to be elite at stuff. And we are completely elite at scoring from set pieces, more than any team has been going for a title. That is a good thing. Separately, I think we can be better at creating chances from open play. Both things can be true. I don't think it's they're good at set pieces and therefore they can't create from open play. It's amazing that we're basically getting, I don't know, maybe even 10 plus goals a season from corners and free kicks. That's crazy. That's an amazing amount of goals to have extra. But I do still think we should be creating more from other avenues as well. If we are going to, I never want to complain, but also Arteta and the club do have those sort of high standards. They will be looking at those set piece numbers and going, "That's great." They'll be looking at those open play numbers and being like, "There is room for improvement there." And so that's my opinion. I love the set pieces. I'm never going to get tired of them. I'll sing set piece LA every time we do it, and I'll enjoy it. But also, I do want to see us creating elsewhere. On Gyökeres, I'll always give new signings loads of time. It was a signing that surprised me. I think the one thing that I liked about it was a bit less money than Sesko. It was less money than Ekitike. It was a lot less money than Isak, and that sort of meant we had money to spend elsewhere. What I will say is that I never thought he was going to come in and be absolutely our starting striker over Kai Havertz. Arteta loves Kai Havertz. And I think they both offer quite different things. And even though similarly, he wasn't the striker I was looking at and thinking, that's our man, I was quite excited about having that duality, we're going to start Havertz because he's very good against the big teams and has that intelligent play and he's good at the build-up. And then if we're sort of, there's space opening up, we'll bring him on in the same way we sort of bring on Martinelli because we know how good he is at running into those open spaces. We saw him do it for sport so much. I think he's been hurt by having to just be 90 minutes. I don't think he's necessarily the striker that I want when they're playing teams that are really, really stuck deep and we're trying to unlock them. I don't think he's that sort of striker. And I think he's trying really hard. But I do think it's really important that as Arsenal fans, we can have these conversations. We can discuss, I think maybe he's not ideal X, Y, Z. But it's so important that doesn't seep into people having agendas and giving him a hard time. It's so important that, like we did with Kai Havertz, in his first sort of 3 months, Kai Havertz I love the guy. He looked like a donkey at points. He really did. But the Arsenal fans, they got behind him. The Arsenal players, they gave him charity penalties. Rival fan bases made fun of us. But it worked. It built his confidence. Second half of that season, he scored over a goal every 2 games. I do think it's really important that when we have players that aren't quite firing, we give them sort of more love and more support than when even when they are firing, because those are the clubs that do really well. The clubs that are positive, that aren't toxic, those are the clubs that go on and win, because the players just have that mentality. They believe they can get better.
100%.
Can I just also say, right, on the Gokras thing, I like this like, obviously originally we brought him in to be the clinical finisher, to be the goal scorer, right? That's why we brought him in, because he obviously his record at Sporting and everything else, right? But at the same time, I think a lot of teams at the moment, from what I've seen, especially during the Fulham game, a lot of teams are actually petrified of our attack, to the point where, if you look, just go back into the Man City game, for example, right? A lot of them are sitting in a low defensive block because of how petrified they are of Saka, of Gyökeres, of Trossard, Martinelli, Havertz, Jesus. We could go Noni Madueke, who's currently injured out at the moment, right? To the point where they're actually sitting in a low block, right? And I think, regardless, I know obviously Gyökeres got brought in to score, but I think also he's that much of a threat that not only are they sitting in the defensive block, they're putting 2 man on him, to the point where Saka is now not having 2 or 3 man on him right now, and to the point where if you look at the Fulham game, he's actually doing what we all know Saka can do, to the point where he's just absolutely destroying his fullback. And I think a lot of, as well, I think a lot of the criticism with Saka, especially I know online can be very viral and a lot of toxic and everything else, right? But a lot of the things where he can't beat his fullback and all this sort of stuff, and Saka's answered those questions, in terms of destroying his fullback. He absolutely destroyed his fullback. I can't remember who the fullback was, but he absolutely rinsed him every time. And I think Gyökeres, I think Havertz is sort of a space creator, and I know people hate when it's a space creator and all that kind of stuff, but I think Gyökeres to the point where he's actually, if you look at Erling Haaland in his first season, right?
Max,
he
don't
was
empty your brain, bro. Just come on, bro.
So let me jump in here real quick.
Let me finish this point, Brian. I'll be real quick, right? I think if you look at sort of Erling Haaland's first season, he was doing a lot of what Gyökeres is doing right now, being the sort of man next to the defender, right? And where he's now taken a few steps back, and he's now going into the space instead of being next to the defender. And a lot of the times he was being marked out of the game. I think Gyökeres has got to sort of learn to be where he needs to be, sort of to be creative. But at the same time, what he's doing now is creating space for Saka and creating space for other players to go and be more effective. So I think it's got kind of a catch-22 sort of thing. So.
Right. Brian, do you want to come through? And then I'm going to jump back into the chat, because I've been getting accused of not interacting with the chat. So, give your point, bro.
So number one, I don't think we brought in Gyökeres to be a backup to Kai Havertz. And Ed, like, Kai Havertz is my dude. I love Kai Havertz. But I don't think we were looking at him being our starting center forward striker, whatever position we want to call that. I think we brought in Gyökeres to do that role. I also think that, we have to be honest, the Portuguese league is a farmers league. It really is. You still have to put the ball in the back of the net, but when you're not playing against as high a quality as you are in the Premier League, it's going to be a little bit easier to get those stats. And I don't remember who the fullback was for Fulham. I don't remember his name, but I will say, and I called this in the show the other day, Anthony Robinson was not playing in the left fullback role for Fulham. And Anthony Robinson is one of the best fullbacks in the league. He's a little bit more offensive minded because he'll make those bombing runs down the left side.
What nationality is he playing?
Of course he's American. Of course he's American. But no. If you look at it, Anthony Robinson is really, really good. And I think that if he had been playing yesterday, Saka wouldn't have. I'm not going to say he wouldn't have had near as good a game as he did, because Saka is still, world class in my opinion. But it would have been a little bit more difficult than Joe Smith, whoever the hell it was, at left back
Ryan
yesterday.
Sessler, I think, played left back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Right, guys, I'm going to jump into the chat because we're getting accused of not being interactive with them. So I'll put the message up. We are interactive with you guys. We're going through topics, and so yeah. Let's take the next comment and then we'll move on. Thoughts on Arsenal team beating the Chelsea record? I am going to touch on this. Gunnar Ritchie was meant to come in tonight. Unfortunately, he's not been able to. I was going to leave this to Gunnar Ritchie, but I have had his stats off of that. So this one is 100% getting touched on. Richie's coming back. Laughing my arse off, Max and Brian being twins. Like it, guys. Richie, stop it. I personally love nothing more than a good set piece goal, Max. We're still getting an awful lot of messages, which is absolutely fantastic. If Alexander Arnold, Bryce had to drop off. In fact, if Alexander, is it possible that Chelsea record never gets beaten? So I'll leave the chat there for a second. Guys, I want to go on to the next point. Bryce had to jump off. So VAR overturned the penalty. And I really want to touch on this. Just quick short answer for both of you. So Ed, I'll start with you. Did you think it was a penalty kick or did you think it was not?
Nah, I didn't. I get why people do. Obviously, there is the contact with the knee first, then he gets the ball. But for me, if I'm a defender, he sticks his toe out to get the ball. His knee hits his knee, but then he does get a touch on the ball. I thought it took them. I don't know why it took them so long, to be honest. I thought definitely not a penalty. I had no complaints personally.
Right. Max, could you keep your answer to that because I've got a follow-up question on that as well, bro.
Sure. Yeah. No, I thought it was a penalty. To be fair, I thought it was a penalty, and you need to look at the Liverpool game and obviously the Newcastle game, and obviously the incident we're talking about, and the fact that there's one yellow card and the other two were disqualified. So,
Yeah, that's that was the exact point I was going to bring up, Max. Today we saw how to pronounce his name is it's not Adam Hamid
Amad Diallo.
Yeah,
Amad Diallo. Yeah.
Yeah, he took he done a sliding tackle. Clearly got the ball first. Never touched the player whatsoever. And then he's followed through, hit the player, got a yellow card. It was a free kick. What is the difference to the two penalty decisions against Arsenal this season? And I'm referring to Newcastle, Nick Pope hitting Gyökeres, then touching the ball, and then yesterday again Misaka. What is the difference in that?
Yeah, no, you go.
No.
I do get the front. I thought the Ahmad one, like, it's a harsh yellow for sure. I guess the difference with that one is, like, gets the ball, the yellow's for, I guess, excessive force, comes in quite hard. The studs sort of were up. Whether or not they were really in a dangerous place, I didn't think they were. But, like, there's, like, excessive force there. I think the Newcastle one I was much more convinced could have been a penalty. Like, again, they are similar in that both of them. In that one, Nick Pope gets the tiniest touch on the ball. But I think in that one, it was almost the other way around. I think in the Newcastle one, he smashes into his knee and then the ball sort of rolls over his foot. Whereas in this one, the knees knock. And if he doesn't get the ball, it's a penalty, it's a foul. But I think in the same action, he goes and gets the ball. If that was given against Arsenal, I would have been really angry. I mean, like, as a defender, like, you are going to make contact with the leg when you're going for the ball. It wasn't excessive.
What's the difference? So what's the difference between going through the player first and then touching the ball and then hitting the ball and then going through the player? What is the difference? What defines a foul?
I think it is that. I think, like, if you get the ball, it's not a foul unless there is excessive force.
So
I think the reason the Newcastle one was so weird is because he got such a small amount of the ball in such a negligible way. That I thought that one did just look bizarre that it wasn't given as a penalty, particularly when it was originally given, to overturn it. But this one, like, I don't know, like, as someone that's playing defence, I'm sticking my leg out. If I get a toe on the ball, I'm livid if that's given as a penalty. And I think if the shoe was on the other foot and that was given against Arsenal, we would be up in arms, and I think rightly so.
But right, so Max, I'm going to rephrase this back to you again. What is the difference between taking the player out first and getting a touch on the ball, then getting the ball first and taking the player out? What is the difference?
There's literally no difference for me, Mark. There's literally no difference because I'm telling you now, if Ahmad had gone straight into the player, he went in straight into the player, and then he won the ball, and then he went straight into the player, right? If he had went into straight into the player and then won the ball, right, it still would have been a yellow card, regardless of whether he went to the ball first or when he went to the player first. It still would have been a yellow card, right? And if you cast your minds back to the United game against Chelsea, right, where Sanchez literally went straight into when Bremo, right, he got a red card. He ended up getting a red card in the box, but for crashing straight into the play as Bremo was about to take a touch and go around the goalkeeper, right, and he ended up getting a red card, right. So if you cast your man back to the Nick Pope one, he's gone straight into the player and he's got a slight touch on the ball, right. And they've given a no penalty for that, right? And if Nick Pope hadn't crashed into him, Gokres would have had basically an empty net to shoot at, and he would have scored, right? Now, if going back to the Fulham incident, right? Saka gets brought down in the box, right? You can see, I think Kevin's knee goes straight into the side of his leg, right? And then he goes and wins the ball. Now, for me, those are all similar incidents. Now, either VAR needs to establish a rule and say these are the rules, right? And if you win the ball, if you go into a play and then you win the ball, it's not a foul, or something needs to be done. Because for me, all of those incidents that I just named are similar status and equally either a red card, yellow card, or at least a penalty in some shape or form, and there's no difference whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree, and I just found that a wee bit harsh. I'm just going to put this up so I could address it. I was actually going to address it in the chat itself. Who's the new guy resembling
A Jabulani.
Jabulani.
They had a reference to my lack of hair. Thank you.
From danger of me logging off. Do you know what, mate? Edge came on. He's obviously a very young kid. He's speaking absolute facts about Arsenal. You could hear the Arsenal background that he's got, etc. This is, for me, sorry to bring it up, Ed, but you're very strong. I've
been called a lot worse. I've been called a lot worse than Jabulani.
I actually find it repulsive that you came in. I've saw the rest of your messages in the chat. So please log off. I'm begging you, log off. Unsubscribe from the channel, log off, and just don't annoy me for the rest of the night. Sorry about that, Ed.
That's all right.
Right, guys, we're going to go on with the rest of the show because we've still got a few things to go through. Game management, Ed. How would you think the game management from Arteta was after we're 1-0 up?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we really are. I talked about elite. I think that's where we are so good. I mean, once we go up, we just do not look like conceding. And we will get moments like that Schlobber's free kick where it's like a goal out of nowhere, or I don't know, a really good set piece against us like the Newcastle game. But honestly, we really didn't. Normally I'm sort of, okay, well, I need a second goal, I need a third goal so I can sort of relax. I was not at all nervous at any point. I put my feet up and it was an incredibly relaxed second half after we scored. Totally fine.
Max, you, bro?
Yeah, no, it's 100%. Like again, like as I said, I'm sure I said it in towards the start of the show. One of the most things I can trust about this team, going back to years gone past, the years gone past, every time this defense we played, we always were biting our nails, going like like all that kind of stuff. But now because we got the squad depth we do, I think we can officially say when we go 1-0 up, it is so hard to break us down. It is so difficult to break us down when we go 1-0 up, right? And I think that's praise to Mick Arteta, if anything else, and the squad depth we have in defense, if anything. So yeah, for me, like again, for me, it's once we 1-0 out, I was like calm, drinking my coffee, lying back, drinking your beer. All Arsenal fans were just putting their feet up and going, all that kind of stuff. So for me, yeah, 100%.
Right, brilliant. So, guys, just before, we are running down with time, and I want to try and keep the time in place. Who was your player of the match?
Good question. A number of players. I thought Saka was brilliant. I thought he was so good, actually. But the standard he has is so high. Yeah, I think I'd go Saka. I think we've come to expect it now, but he was just a cut above the other attackers. I thought Gabriel again was brilliant. Sleeve was brilliant. Actually, Gabriel I thought lost the ball a couple of times. That was in a way that I've not seen him do before.
But after that, he was brilliant.
Yeah, no, I mean he's an extraordinary player. I'd go Saka for man of the match though.
Saka. Max, what about you, bro?
Yeah. For me, I could easily agree with that and go with the easy option and say Saka. Obviously, as you said, his standards are so high. I could easily say Trossard for scoring the goal. To win us the match. I could easily say Calafiori for certain parts of the game where he looked absolutely immense. I could easily say Gabriel Saliba. Right. I could easily say. The fact that even Marino came on and changed the game in certain parts in retrospect. So just to be different, just on the basis of being different, I think I probably give it to Trossard just in order to in terms of winning the game. But I think for me, I'll give Saka as a man of the match in my eyes. But just to make that crystal clear, but on the verge of being different, I think probably say Trossard. I think Calafiori was a very close second in terms of because of how well he did, and I think he's been immense since the start of the season. To be completely honest with you,
yeah, I would give a mention to Calafiori. I thought he'd done absolutely brilliant. I thought Saka showed very quick feet, etc. But my player in the match by a mile was the best right back in the freaking world. Jurrien Timber.
Yeah, he was
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
I thought Timber is just this season. He's my player of the season so far. He's absolutely my player of the season. Brian's just dropping back in. Brian,
what I missed? How much shit we were all talking about me?
Yeah, we didn't talk about you for once. I'll do
I
that in the
included
group chat.
Tabalani.
Yeah, people in the chat are abusing people in here. I just told them to unsubscribe and piss off. But Brian, who was your main man in the match? Sorry, player of the match.
I mean, probably Trossard. Probably Trossard. I mean, the easy reason is because he was the goal scorer, but he just he knows how to play. He knows how to play. I mean, maybe I wasn't watching properly, but I didn't see him give the ball away that much. He just knows what the hell he's doing, and I think he's really, really underrated by the fan base in particular, and by the Premier League in general.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim, just real quick. I'll be really, really quick. Right. I think I understand why you gave it to Timber. I get it. Right. I think Timber, along with Gabriel Saliba, are probably the best three defensively in terms of world class. You can put them in the world class category if you want. I wouldn't quite just yet, but I can understand why people rate them really highly. But I think for me with Timber, right, he's great defensively and going forward. Don't get me wrong, right? I think he's absolutely class at that, right? I think he was good defensively in this game. But I think there was parts of the game I didn't quite think he was good going forward, and I know that might sound very sort of in my personal opinion, I didn't think he was great going forward today, but defensively he was solid. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe anyone else disagrees. Maybe Ed disagrees. Brian, you guys disagree, but that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't think he was poor going forward, but I mean, he's had more adventurous games attacking 100%. I wouldn't massively disagree with that, but also, I mean, he's a fullback. I mean, and that may well have been a sort of tactical that actually it's better off actually if he sits slightly deeper and if, particularly if Calafiore is bombing up and playing in a number 9 at points. It's not I think the worst thing if actually particularly want to go 1-0 up that Timber sits slightly deeper. I would say he's world class though, and I would say Gabriel and Saliba are world class too.
I'd give that as well. I'd give that as well. And by the way, I'm not jumping into the chat. If people need interaction from me in the chat, then I do apologise. I put your messages up. If you don't insult my guests, none of your messages will be shown again. A start, Brian, because I know that you like to start. Arsenal have broke back-to-back record of having less than 10 shots. Not even on target, 10 shots at goal. What's your thinking behind that, bro?
Well, are we sure it's 10? Because the one that I saw was two straight games of having 0 shots on target. I mean, we could be talking about 2 different things. So I apologize.
Yeah, we are talking 2 different things. It was less than 10 shots, the one that I saw. I didn't see the one of a shot on target, which just shows, but both of them are the same question because it just shows how amazing that we are, bro. What's your thinking behind that?
I think that there's really not much to say about that other than our midfield is awesome. We got really I don't want to say we got lucky, but we knew we wanted Zubamendi. We knew exactly what role we wanted him to play. Our defense is just stupid good. Like y'all were saying.
It's defense, Brian.
Gabriel.
It's defense. It's not defense. It's
oh
defense.
my god!
We're not playing American football. We're talking football.
No, we're talking soccer.
No, we're not talking. We're not talking soccer.
No, I think our defense is. I think it just goes without saying how good we are. I really can't even. I can't put it into words. It's just right here, and I think we all know exactly what is right here because we're all thinking the same thing.
Okay, on the defense, right? I generally think I said this in the space as well. I generally think Chelsea's record's in trouble. Generally, with our defense, I generally think Chelsea's record is in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. That big credit goes up to that defense. I think at the end of the season, I think we'll see roughly give or take. I think maybe about 12 to 14 goals at the current trajectory. And when you were speaking of stats, Mark, right? Since 2003-04, right? And this is against the Fulham game. We haven't in the Fulham game since the 03-04, right? We haven't conceded this many goals since 03-04 in the Invincible season, right? And 3 goals, right? And that's a stat for you, right? And so if you like your stats, and there's a stat for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, you go ahead.
I think on the Chelsea record, it was a really good question actually. I think a bit like when Liverpool had that season where they ended up being beaten by Watford. They will start to be nervous about that record because it obviously means a lot to them. There are a lot of things that have to happen. There's a lot of it's such a small number of goals that things like that Slobozai free kick can only happen once or twice. You can't otherwise bang, you can see 3 in one game and suddenly it's out the window. What I would say in the argument that it might happen is while the kind of season before we've had the season before last, there have been lots of goals, teams attacking, lots of transitions. This season, for whatever reason, and these things are complicated to why they happen, teams have gone, okay, now the trend is we're gonna focus on long throws, set pieces. There's fewer goals, and all the places the goals are coming are things that we are very, very, very good at stopping. We're very good at stopping set pieces. We have huge players. We've got massive duel winners, and I think that's a huge reason why teams just can't break us down, because the tactics they're adopting to play each other, they just play massively into our defensive hand. And like, it isn't even like, oh god, another sort of well fought clean sheet, and Gabriel's putting in massive tackles and big goal line clearances for Saliba. It's so easy. I mean, honestly, Saliba, I don't think he's washing his kit in between games because he's not getting a stain of mud on him. Honestly, it's extraordinary the level of control our defense has, and I think it really is just that I think the Arsenal kind of defense of the late 90s, which, like, people talk about that Chelsea record as being extraordinary, and it is amazing. It's an amazing record. I don't think it's extraordinary. I mean, Arsenal conceded 17 goals a couple of years before. Like, those numbers are possible, and I do think we've not seen a defense like this in a very, very long time. And I think we may not be at 15, but I think we could easily concede fewer than 20, and then it really all depends on.
Could I give you a start?
Well,
Gunnar Ritchie.
you might be going where I'm going with this, Mark. Go ahead.
No, Gunnar Ritchie had put this out, and if he was on the show, I was going to let him drop it, but I'm going to have to drop it. See, at the current rate that we're conceding goals, we are projected to concede 14.8 goals this season. 14.8 goals this season. Now, can I say, at this point of the projection, we have had the toughest start to a Premier League season that we've ever had.
Well,
And Mark, you know the other stat? We've conceded one open play goal. One.
Well, Ed, I want to piggyback. I want to piggyback on what you
one
said.
because of the Erling Haaland and obviously the other two goals that we conceded were set pieces.
All right, well, Ed, I want to piggyback on what you said, because you were talking about, all of a sudden we can shift three, something like that. I saw something the other day. I don't remember how long the stretch is, but like, we haven't given up 3 goals in like a month of Sundays. Like somebody find that out. But I want to say it's been
Luton was the last time we conceded 3 goals. Brian, Luton, and they're in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
League One.
And they're looking at possibly getting relegated from the championship too. No, wait, are they in the
They have to. They're only one.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say.
Jack Wilshere's taken over Luton as well, guys. Just remember that. So,
Ed, you want to
I think it's a really good point. Look, I think it's very likely we go the whole season without conceding 3 goals in one game. But I also think just we might concede 2 in one game and then 2 in the next game. Or, I don't know, we might get a couple of injuries or rotate the defence, or particularly in the second half of the season, I don't know, we're really pushing to win games. We're having to gamble more, and when more space opens up at the back. I think I will start having real interest in record in February, March, April. I think in October, looking at records like that, I think it's a little bit early, because of, I think, the way stats work. So often in these first 7 games, you find these incredible things, and you go, okay, like if that happened, you extend it out over the season, we break all these records. And I genuinely don't think it's impossible Arsenal could. I'm not saying that, and I'm really not talking about Arsenal's defense. I think it is extraordinary. And
this is without Nketiah coming back too. He's still injured.
Yeah, for sure. And Ben White and Skelly and all these players that we've seen be brilliant. But I'm for now very, very content with reliably keeping clean sheets, rarely conceding more than 1 goal, whether that's against Leeds or Real Madrid. Like, I think that is incredible. If we're able to keep doing that over the season, and we're having these conversations in April, that's when I'll start getting very excited. That's when I'll start texting my Chelsea fan friends, being like, "Oh, you nervous? Because I think we might do this." I think it's important. We slightly keep our feet on the ground with this one.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't particularly care about the records. Like the only stat that I care about is the number of points at the top of the table at the end of the season. That is all I care about.
I'd like both. I wouldn't mind both though.
Ed, I want to show this to you, bro. I really hope I haven't hurt your feelings. Apology on my end. Your tactical insight sense shivers down my spine. Exactly, bro. Let's just not without
Thanks,
knowing
Kat.
people.
That's really
Let's
appreciated.
not do this. And this is Ed's first ever time on the channel, bro. So please be polite. You will get interaction from us, but always be polite. Right, guys. Gunnar Ritchie for Brian. He's American from Washington. Brian, do you want to take this up?
I mean, I'm from the South, so that's why you hear a lot of y'all. That's why you hear toilet, boil some water. No, I am not from the Midwest because Wisconsin is way too cold.
Right, okay. Richie, that's you sorted. Right, guys, can you give me we're going to, I've only got a couple of extra wee bits here because we have been on for a while, and we've got Max in Australia that's probably touching almost lunchtime. Brian, that's
It's 7:15, Mark. Actually, it's in the morning.
So it's breakfast time, and Brian's away to feed his kids a Sunday roast with Yorkshire puddings. And Ed, you've got to go to bed soon, I would imagine. So the last couple of topics: Atletico Madrid on Tuesday. Can I get a predicted lineup from you guys? So Ed, start with you. What would you?
I guess what I'll do is I'll just I'll start with the lineup we had against Fulham, and I'll swap out the players that I think we'll see.
Okay.
I think it's possible. I don't think this will happen, but interesting to ponder. We see Gyökeres get a rest, and maybe Martinelli goes in that 9. We obviously saw him do it for Brazil during international break, and I don't think that's impossible at all. So that'll be an interesting one. I think likely we'll see Trossard start again. I mean, Arteta's never shown any worries about playing Trossard pretty much relentlessly when he needs to. I think I'd love to see Ethan Ranieri. I think Lewis Kelly will definitely play left back. I think Ben White, if he's fit, will definitely play right back. And Hincapié debut, I think I'd like to see. I imagine it'll be pretty similar to our team against Fulham, but just with a couple of tweaks. And a lot of those we do fitness stuff, which we can't really know about, to be honest. But our squad's so strong that it's more just interesting. I'm not like, oh God, I really hope we don't play this person, or we really hope we do play this person. That is just the benefit of having the amount of quality players that we do.
Yeah, 100%. Brian, you?
So
and
yeah,
don't put Ramsdale, Kieran Tierney is not allowed in the squad. It's not allowed in the squad. This is not fantasy football league. It's just we're talking Atletico Madrid Tuesday, Brian. You've got to be serious.
Fine. I will be serious for once. I think one thing we have to worry about is Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone is going to shithouse his way through the game. He's going to straight up shithouse. His teams are great at the dark arts. His teams are excellent at hitting on the counter. I mean, Griezmann, he's where the hell has Griezmann been? He's just been lights out over the past couple of seasons. I would definitely agree that Martinelli in the 9 is a good call. Yes, I think Trossard on the left is a good call. I think we're a little bit limited. We almost have to play Eze at the right 8 and then have Rice. You could theoretically put Norgard into the 6. That might not be the worst idea. If Ben White is ready, I'd put him at right back. I would keep central defenders obviously the same. And right now, given Calafiori's form, even though I don't really like him, I would keep him there, but I would bring on MLS, maybe the 60th minute, something like that, to give a little bit of a different look. But yeah, it would be like maybe changed up a little bit, but I really think that we do have to be careful with Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, 100%. Max.
Yeah, again, it's not regularly that I agree with Ed on I'm going to agree with Ed on this one actually. So I think we'll see a similar lineup to the Fulham game. What the things I probably will be interested to see is if Martinelli starts over Trossard. I think Trossard will start because I think Diego Simeone, if anything, if there's anything that I can count on, he'll probably do another low block. So I think Trossard will start just purely on the basis because I think Trossard's a bit more technical. But it wouldn't surprise me if Arteta throws a curveball and starts with Martinelli. So it wouldn't surprise me if that happens. Again, with fitness, it wouldn't surprise me if Ben White starts over Trossard. Not Trossard, Timber, because obviously Ben White's obviously rotation and Tim's played a lot of games. So if Ben White's fit, I think there's a chance that he might start there. But if he's not fit, then I would obviously go back. Same with the same back four as obviously the Fulham game. Lewis Kelly, he might get a game, but again, as Ryan said and as Ed said, bearing Califor's fantastic form at the moment, I'll probably still stay with him because he offers so much. Obviously talk about Zubimendi, maybe swap him out for Nordgaard just to give him a bit of a rest because he's played a lot of games. So there's a conversation we can have there. Obviously, I wouldn't be too against. I wouldn't be too against having either Eze on the left and maybe a Max Dowman in the middle. I wouldn't be too against running that sort of thing. Even going so far to putting Ethan on the right, giving Saka a bit of a rest. So just to change things up a bit, just because he's still obviously coming back and obviously don't want him to wear up. But if as said, like obviously Arteta doesn't do a lot of rotating, so it wouldn't surprise me if he sticks with the same team as the Fulham game. So with a few changes here and there. So.
Do you know what, Max? I'm going to disagree. I think this season, and it's like the reason that I put a structure to show in a certain way of game management, etc. I think now there's no excuses at all not to rotate. See, last season we had 7 substitutes on the bench, 5 of them were defenders, and I think out of that there was probably 4 left backs. I watched Kieran Tierney come off the bench. He came on to replace Miles Lewis-Kelly, or left back. He went into left wing because there was another injury to Martinelli, and he ended up at right back. There is no excuses this season. The drop-offs are not that horrendous that we've previously seen. So I
don't think there's a drop-off at all, Mark, to be fair. I don't think there's a drop-off at all with the first squad and the second team.
There is a drop-off, but where I would say it, personally, I'm not giving my opinion, Max, I would have definitely Ben White if on the right-hand side. I would not separate Saliba and Gabriel at the same time. So one of them has to play. So Saliba maybe drops out, you bring in a Mosquera, and then you still play Gabriel. Calafiori could go out. I'm happy with Miles Lewis-Kelly. I could possibly have a Nordgaard in there, but if I have a Nordgaard in there, I want a Declan Rice beside him. If I don't get a Nordgaard in there, Zubimendi's there, I'll take a Mourinho to the left-hand side of him. I need a balance within that. I don't want, there's 2 11s, let's just change our 11s. We need to keep it strong across the pitch. Trossard going out, Martinelli coming in. Martinelli was dropped this weekend for one reason only. He was in Tokyo playing for Brazil. So he had very little time to change over. I would expect Martinelli to come in, now settle back in, got some minutes to keep his legs ticking. Martinelli to come in. Up front, I don't think we'll have many options. I think it's going to be Gyökeres. Gyökeres, Champions League, I think is totally different to Premier League. There'll be more space. This is where the guy will bang. So I'm like delighted for that there. Odegaard's out. Izzy was, for me, Izzy done Izzy things at the weekend. He's still finding, adapting to a new system. You could bring Ethan in there. Max, absolutely not. He's too young for this kind of level at this minute. We'll have to manage him. We're not desperate like 2019. So I would have Izzy starting, Max definitely on the bench to cover that. And unfortunately, Saka's going to have to play on Tuesday because Madueke is out. But this shows the strength and depth that we've got. For me personally, it's just the balance between don't change two teams all the time. Don't do Chelsea and have 400 players, like just integrate them. Next time around, drop Gabriel, put Hincapi in there, and then have Saliba alongside him, just for that reassurance. And the same goes in every single freaking position. If Arteta gets that right, I believe that we will Champions League winners and Premier League winners this season. And there's a lot of chess. Guys, score predictions before we close off. Ed, give it to me. What we're doing against Atletico?
I think it could. I hope I'm wrong. I think it could be a really boring game. I think with the new Champions League format, I think both sides would be pretty happy with a point. Neither side's going to want to give a lot away. I think it'll be either 0-0 or 1-0. Like honestly, I really want to win. If we draw that game 0-0 and get out with no injuries and manage to rest some players, I think that's an absolutely fine result. But I'll go 1-0 Arsenal.
1-0 Arsenal. Brian?
So I think it's really going to depend, how much we rotate the team. If we stay fairly constant to what we were this weekend, I would say 1-0 just because Simeone's going to park the bus. If we do rotate a fair amount, then I think it's going to be a 1-1. I do think we're going to score, but just like if we rotate the midfield and rotate the defense too much, then they're going to hit us on the break on one.
Max?
I generally think it's going to be a 2-0 win for Arsenal, regardless of whether we rotate or not. That's my personal opinion. So there you go.
Love it, bro. I'm going to go 0-0. However, I'm going to slightly. This is my head's telling me it's a 0-0 because I agree with what you guys have said. But I actually think it's going to be 1-0 Arsenal. And I think the only reason it's going to be 1-0 Arsenal is Gyökeres. I think the game will open up and it's a totally different ball game. And I think Gyökeres will come to the fore and get Arsenal 3 points at the start of the Champions League. Anything you guys want to... Oh, sorry, Ed.
No, just on the number 9, I do think Julian Alvarez, we talked about those sort of players that can get a goal out of nothing. He's the one where if they were to create something, it'll be through him. He's looking so good right now. But I mean we've kept better players than him quiet. So yeah, maybe it'll be Gyökeres' night.
Can I just also just say, because Arteta loves doing a lot of curveballs, right? Because I'm not, if just hypothetically, if Hincapi is fit, right? Just hypothetically, it wouldn't surprise me if Gabriel gets rested, Calafio goes to centre back, because Calafio did play centre back during the preseason, and it wouldn't surprise me if he puts Hincapi on the left as a left back because he did play left.
Why that way around? Why not just Hincapi at left centre back?
Because I think if you look at Hincapi's time at Bayern Leverkusen, he's played a lot of left back. So wouldn't and Arteta did play Calafio at centre back a few times during pre-season. So it wouldn't surprise me if he does do that, just because he's got 2 forwards thinking play centre backs, and I'm just like, it wouldn't shock me too much because obviously as I said, Hincapi's played left back before, and obviously he's a very forward thinking player, and obviously that Calafio is another forward thinking player. So it wouldn't surprise me if he goes in that direction. I'm just assuming that obviously Hincapi's fit, obviously.
Yeah.
Richard, I love you, man.
Do you? Wait till you see what you said in the group chat, bro. Right, Richard's gone for Rhea, Timber, Saliba, Hincapi, Skelly, Zubimendi, Mourinho, Eze, Saka, Martinelli, Gyökeres for me. Yeah, Richard, you're basically saying the same as me. And we're getting more messages in just before we conclude. Richard's coming out with his stats. Does everyone even want to fall asleep? Atletico are conceding 1.08 away from home and scoring 1.84.
But
So
a lot of
they've
that's
got
in La Liga. A lot of that's in La Liga, and that's more of an open league.
And more slow league too as well. So
yeah. So guys, anything else that you want to touch before we end the stream?
Just I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed my my debut.
It's been brilliant. Honestly, it's been absolutely brilliant. And I'll definitely get you a mic segment of the show. So I'll be me.
invite to the group as well, Mark, as well. If he's
in
not
the
already
group.
in there.
He's
Oh, is
already in there. He's just shy. He's just shy at the moment because me and Brian are absolute nutcases. But Brian, final question before we move on. Can you actually plug a submarine in the ocean, or do you have to do it at Tesco's?
Oh my God! Like we're like the first pod you and I do. Like I'm gonna put up a diagram of a submarine and show you how it works. I'm gonna show you how it works. You're killing
Do
me.
you believe? Do you believe that you could have an electric submarine? Would you go on electric?
I don't.
Would you go on electric submarine, Ed?
I'm so far from an expert on sort of nautical travel, but I'd say yeah, like you can have an electric car. You can have. I think we've had an electric flight, and yeah, I think you could have an electrical submarine.
So would you plug an electric submarine in the water?
You don't plug it in. It's not a hybrid or anything. Oh my God!
Yeah,
I can't.
I think you definitely could. Like, I mean, yeah, like I think you definitely could, and I'm sure you do.
So what do you do? Do we go past the Titanic and plug it into their mains, or how do we do this?
Oh my God! I can't.
Well, I think
I can't.
you probably charge it on land.
I can't.
I think with electric submarine, I think you could have a cord that goes up to the dock and plug it into a PowerPoint. Theoretically, you could.
Oh my
But
God!
didn't the Russians know that the submarine was down there because they see a poppy a cord coming down?
Oh
And
my
what
God!
happens if the cord?
No, you probably could. You could probably just change the battery. Theoretically, too, you could probably just change the battery.
But like a car battery.
Oh my God! It does have a battery. It's a giant battery.
So to charge
Like
a battery
power cord,
then,
Mark.
how many?
Power cord.
What we're talking voltage wise to come down from Tesco's into the ocean?
Why would it be Tesco's?
Well, could be Asda. I'm not being racist here.
Because Mark got me a
You
Tesco
don't charge a car in Tesco's. Like it would be like a you charge it at a point.
But I'm trying to establish a submarine. Like, where do you get the lead? Where do you get the lead from land to go into the water? Because I'm taking Max's point here. Without water getting into the cable and go down to the submarine to recharge it.
I guess A, you can have waterproof cables, but B, I think probably like submarines are on land quite a lot of the time. Like they are submerged. Like they come up to land. You would charge it then, and then you would put it in the water and it would have charge.
Yeah. Or you know the other thing you do is if it's a big giant engine, right? You could theoretically have giant power cells that you could charge on land, and you could put it back into the engine, like electric power cells, like batteries, essentially.
Brian's crying.
I didn't know that I'm gonna have to do submarine 101 on the next show, but here, like, it's basically gonna be like, hey Mark, did you watch the game the other night? Oh yeah, I watched it. Yeah, did you watch it too, Brian? Yeah, I watched it. Hey, here's how a submarine works, and it's gonna take like 30 minutes to explain the whole goddamn thing.
This has been a great show, guys, and unfortunately, I think under this format, it's going to be the last one. And I'm sorry that I had to host tonight, because there's a lot better hosts on the Big Sunday Show. But I'm going to say
Oh, we know,
goodbye
Mark.
to.
It's all good. We know. We
I was
know.
going to say,
There's
we
better
know.
hosts.
We know.
No, there has been. I want to give massive shout outs to like the last year that I've had on this show. And I didn't want to be the person hosting the last one. It was just unfortunate the way it's turned out today. But I want to say good night to the show because it's been the flagship show and it's getting revamped massively. The first person ever to host it was Paul. And I think that's when I joined him, and it was an amazing show. Then we had the beautiful Seema. Seema is like an amazing host. She stood in for months and months and months last year. She was absolutely phenomenal. And more recently, it's been Des. And these guys are like I hate hosting, and I've relied on these guys to actually host. So I want to give big up to all of them. I want to give big up to every single person that's ever been on the Big Sunday Show. There's hundreds and thousands of you, well, not thousands, but there's a lot of people, and a lot of people that we have to be grateful for. And it's like tonight's a sad night, but it's also a happy night because we're revamping again, and we've got people like Ed that's well educated, very well educated on the Arsenal. To appreciate it, bro. Always welcome on. Join
Yeah,
next
loved it.
week.
Ed,
Next
Ed
week,
looks
I
like
think.
Ed looks like a proper college kid too. Proper college kid.
Nah, he's a top guy. He's top guy. Then
Not
Max
far
from
off. Not
Australia
far
that
off.
stays up until like stupid o'clock in the morning. We've
To watch
got
Arsenal, to get up and
yeah,
do the show, do the podcast. Right?
just do a show. Brian, the best in the world. Star Spangled Wanker that I've ever met. Only know one, but I'm giving you
And
credit
Crocky's
for it,
son.
Brian.
Mark, don't forget that. Crocky's son as well.
True. That's true. I am
No,
Stan
he's
Kroenke's son.
lost
He doesn't
Cronky's
talk
son.
to me. He doesn't talk to me. I don't know what the hell his problem is.
I've lost Cronky's son, but we've got Aisha, Richard, like the list goes on with everybody within the channel. So I love all you guys so much, and it's the end of this fucking show, but it's going to get replaced better, and it means I don't have to host, which is always good. I always appreciate that. So, lastly, Ed, where can we find you?
Yeah, on most socials, mostly I'd say Twitter or X at Eastern Ball. I tweet about pretty much only football, but some Arsenal stuff, some general stuff, quite a lot of European football. But yeah, follow me on there. And yeah, hopefully I'll be back on the show soon. I look forward to the new format. I'm fond of a quiz.
Yeah, as long as you don't win it. If you start winning it, you're going to get kicked. We could all
I'll do
do
my best. I'll try. I'll creep up then. I'll pay my dues.
Yeah.
Flexing my muscles.
Yeah, where could people find you within your job, bro? Is there you're doing a bit of freelance at the moment?
Yeah, like if people read the Daily Star Sports section, might see my name. Very occasionally the Daily Mirror, but mainly the Daily Star. And also on Substack for sort of longer stuff. At Eastern Ball on Substack as well. If people want to have a look for that, hopefully it's as interesting as this show's been. But yeah, any of those places.
Super, bro. Max, where can people find you apart from Australia, snakes, sharks, spiders?
Kangaroos, yeah, it's so obviously it's Max D on Instagram. It's at AFC Max 93. On X, yeah, that's where you will find me. I'm always posting Arsenal content, so I'm not too far away. So yeah, I'll be there.
Yep. Brian, where can people find you, or where should people avoid finding you?
Definitely avoid me because I talk shit constantly. Follow me on Twitter at Brian_AK47. I tweet a lot about football, but also it's just craziness, American craziness. Yeah, no, I don't have much of a presence, but I'm more than happy to have people come talk shit to me. Because it's a lot of fun.
Superb. Guys, show's coming up. I'd be rude if I didn't. Show's coming up Tuesday night. Des and Richard will be doing a watch along for the Atletico Madrid. Richard, just to get it in there, you see now, old person. And sorry, Brian, I really had to get that point into him. So it is actually Madrid that we're playing at. The Emirates, by the way, so in case Des thinks it's over in Spain, it's actually in London.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So we've got that. These guys are dropping 2 Gunners. I still know absolutely any idea whatsoever, freaking ever. It's a fucking party.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to
Yeah,
have
no.
everybody on this, or we're gonna have to make everybody watch it just so we can stop having these gross conceptual errors. Oh my
They're
God, I
not
can't.
gross.
I can't.
They're like we're trying to establish when you plug it in. Brian's even going for Morrison's. Sorry, Richard's even going for Morrison's. Like this is
What
a
about
heated
Marks and
debate.
Spencers? What about Marks and Spencers?
But our group chat. Why would we plug it into our group chat, Brian? What kind of energy
God.
we would get from that, bro? Right. On top of that, we do have you. Please watch out. Just hit the notification, subscribe, watch out. The guys, Des and Richard, are hitting every single night. There's a show coming out. The 2 old Gunners is absolutely brilliant. They're funny, controversial, and 2 of them don't have an absolute clue what they're talking about. I've argued with every pick that they do. Brian, you saw them. Their picks are shit, and we should attack them. Just get in the chat and attack these guys on their picks, because it is honestly, it's almost as bad as the American football picks.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It's like just get involved just for that alone. Thursday
Right,
night,
it's almost as bad as listening to Donald Trump on a regular basis.
Don't put that evil on me. Do not put that evil on me. It is not my fault.
What do you mean, Harry? Who's Harry? I'm waiting to close the show. Everyone knows you can't have electric submarines. How ridiculous can it go?
Wow. Oh my God.
Actually, no, Harry, actually, I apologize. I agree. You can't have an electric submarine unless you plug in a Tesco.
Oh my God. All right. Look.
If this is the last ever show, we need to address this.
Look, here's how you can have an electric submarine, right? You have a nuclear reactor, which is a hot rock that boils water, right? This hot rock makes steam. It makes steam to turn a turbine that makes electricity, and this electricity can go to these giant motors that attach to the shaft, and the shaft goes roundy, pushes the boat through the water. That's how you have an electric submarine.
But Brian, is it an electric?
Plug it in at Tesco, don't you?
Brian, but is it an electric submarine or is it a steam submarine? Because the steam has to go into the electric. Has to go into the thing that you said has to power the electricity. So is it a steam? Is it a steam submarine or
Max,
electric submarine?
Max, I hate you, man. I hate you.
No, so Brian, you give us the facts. This is the last ever Big Sunday show. Ed, are you interested in this? I'm sure the Mirror, right? I've grown up, the Mirror, I apologise, Ed. The Mirror was a shit newspaper. The Mail's a shit newspaper. Like the Sun's a shit newspaper. I'm guaranteed. We're giving you articles right now, bro.
Oh, this is great stuff. I mean, the Daily Star would love. They'd absolutely love anything about submarines, particularly related to which submarine supermarket charges for you. I mean, they would.
Ed, when you do the Daily Star, can you just for me just go add Brian's comment and saying this is how we get electric submarine and then add my comment of putting a giant plug and just like
I will pitch.
put diagrams.
I'll message my editor tomorrow morning.
Harry, look what Harry said. Brilliant. Honestly, this story is real.
Oh my God! Yes.
This story is real. It's not me making up.
You can charge a battery underwater. I'm like, honestly, I don't even know how much I can say about it because I don't know what's classified and what's not. But yes, you can charge a battery for a submarine underwater.
But where are you plugging it, Brian? It's not. You're in water.
Oh my God, Harry, thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Man, I've got to walk off. I'm
God.
crying here.
Oh my God.
Brian, explain where you plug it in.
Oh my, you, I can't. Y'all are killing me. I'm a trip offline at all of y'all. I'm a trip offline.
Again, Brian. That's the thing with the electric thing. I still think it's a steam-oriented submarine because steam's got to go somewhere to power the battery.
I mean, yes. Like out of hundreds of years of powered travel through the water, we have not really figured out a better way to do it than to make steam to turn a turbine. I get that, but you can have electric motors on the shaft, which technically makes it an electric submarine.
If you wanted an electric submarine, you might as well buy giant batteries and put the stick and use them as an engine. Like just have a giant engine with fuel cells and just have electric fuel cells and just plug it in. Then yes, you would have an electric submarine.
Oh my God, I'm going home. You guys are killing me.
You're already home. Right, guys, this is good night to the Big Sunday Show for the last time. I'm almost crying, but love everybody. Thanks to all my guests. Brian for tolerating that. That was hilarious. It's the best. We're still
And
getting
please
comments,
come back.
but-
And please come back and don't let the show scare you off.
Brian, is
Yeah,
that right?
we have like a big MagSafe charger. That'll do it. We have a big MagSafe charger. We take the boat out of the water. We put it on the pier. It just charges up for a little bit.
Brian, read this comment. Read this comment. Read this comment, Brian.
That's what I'm talking about. We take the boat out of the water, set it on the thing, get it up to like 80%, and off we go. Easy day.
The chat's gone mental now. I'm trying to close the show, but the chat's gone mental on this, Brian. Solar power.
That would be a
Oh my God! Don't get me started on PV. Dude, oh my God! You guys are getting me all
Maybe it's a giant. Oh, Brian. Maybe it's a giant wind turbine. Maybe
Oh my God!
Actually, can you plug into a turbine?
What do you mean plug into a turbine? The turbines are on the inside of the boat.
No, the wind. A turbine is like. Do you know what I mean?
How is a wind turbine going to work underwater?
No,
Brian,
just a normal turbine. Just a normal turbine system inside the submarine. It powers a battery.
No, I'm talking above land. Like Donald Trump came to Scotland, right? And he's put all, and he stole a golf course off us, right? Cyprus, I'm going to do 20 minutes more because this conversation is great. So Donald Trump stole a golf course off us in Scotland, right? And go Google it. It's up in Aberdeen. Google it. And we've got all these wind turbines out at sea. And Donald Trump's so pissed at this. But secretly, Brian's taking his submarine and plugging into a turbine. So it's not Tesco's, it's the wind turbines, Brian.
No, we are not plugging. No, we would plug our submarine in at Faslane at Holy Lock. Guys, let me bounce. I'm getting a call. Love you guys. We'll talk soon.
I love you so much.
All right, guys.
I'm glad that was hard on you, Brian. Anyway, right, guys, we are going to be shoot off. Took enough of the guy's time. Ed, absolutely amazing. Max, absolutely amazing.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I'll be back.
The rest of the shows are full of sense, by the way. It's just mine's aren't at times. You get the Arsenal shit out of the way, and then we just.
By the way, Ed, like and share to your friends so you get more people more traction watching the show.
Good idea. I'll do that.
And also at the Daily Mail, because you never know, they could always use a laugh about turbines and engines and submarines and all the.
He's the star.
Almost certainly.
Right, big up, guys, and the Big Sunday Show is waiting to be revamped, and we are out of here. Good night, guys. Come on, you fucking gooners.